What's the first thing you teach them?
Well, the first thing you teach them, you really don't teach them tire right off the bat. You teach them how to greet people and talk to people and introduce yourself, talk nicely to people, and sell yourself first. Is my philosophy on teaching. And then you want to be neat at all times.
How do you teach them? What do you do? What do you tell them, Bobby? How do you get through to them that they're supposed to be nice and polite?
Well, it's very simple. If you're polite to anybody, most people respond very well to you. You greet them, and they're going to greet with you. If you put your hand out to shake hands with somebody, they'll put the hand right there. It's all very simple.
Are you a handshaker?
Yes, I am. I like to shake hands, and I like to know who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of times they ask their name, and if you give your name, most times people will give you their name. And then from there on in, you usually use their name when you're talking to them.
Are you a first-name basis or a second-name basis?
Well, no, sir, I would be a second name unless I know them real well.
I see.
I would be Mr. or Mrs.
Well, how do you get this through to the new person? You just sit down and tell them?
Well, I tell them, and then I also talk with them and show them, and they follow me around lots of times and see how I do it. And once you have the customer in your hand, in a sense of speaking, well, then you can go ahead and talk your product. But until you have that customer interested in you personally, well, then it's hard to sell your product.
What do you do? Okay, then the first thing you do is teach the guy how to be personable, or the lady how to be personable.
Of course, in my store, and I don't know if it holds true in all the stores, my store, I insist on a white shirt and tie.
A what?
A white shirt and tie.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I wouldn't be acceptable.
No, sir.
Why a white shirt?
Well, because I think it's a very neat appearance to have a white shirt and tie on for to greet people. If I walk in the store myself and someone greets me in a polo shirt or something like that, I'm not interested in buying because I just feel that they're not a good salesman.
We operate about 120 trucks and cars. In addition to that, we have some 100 additional pieces of moving equipment, mobile equipment such as air compressors, welders, things like that all require tires.
I want to buy a tire, and I just wanted a price. I wanted to price the tires and see how much they were.
Did you mean to buy a tire when you came in here?
I want to buy one, but I don't know if I want to buy it here.
Oh, well, I had a blowout on the tire.
So my husband called to find out if we could get them here quickly, and they said we could get them within 45 minutes. So that's why we came here.
Greet or acknowledge the customer promptly. Let's see what actually happens and how customers feel about it.
A lot of places you go into where there'll be all these guys standing around, but nobody will help you.
Yeah.
You're kind of frustrated. I've left a couple of places,
Have you?
They let you stand around, You don't want to wait.
Well, I just got mad and left. I just did. I just said the heck with it. So then I come over to this store.
This customer took the time and trouble to come into your store. How much longer are you going to keep him waiting?
I didn't like his attitude.
This man is still waiting to buy.
Be with you in a minute.
Okay.
A year from now, you'll be buying another set of sheet tires. So you're buying a $20 tire now.
And how did you get treated this morning?
Very nicely. The man came right up to me, and I was promptly taken care of.
How many of your customers are as patient as this man?
And if you listen, you can always get a hint as to what this customer really needs. And then it's up to you to sell them what you feel that they need.
Well, the reason I'm buying them, we're leaving in a couple, maybe a week or so. And I wanted them for the long trip.
What kind of tires do they sell you?
Well, this time, I understand I just wanted one tire, but rethread,
Well, the main reason is that it's a very durable tire. It's a belt tire, And in the experience of several of my friends, it's practically the best tire that you can buy now.
And that's one of the reasons I understand you try to keep your tires as in good a shape as you do your motor in your cars. Is one of the safety precautions of your tire.
Look at your customer's car if possible. Sometimes your service manager can be helpful.
They both went out and looked at the car, as this gentleman did here. And I don't know what that was for. I told him what size I needed, but there must be some sales idea why he went out and looked at the car, but they all did that.
And then what do you do next, Tommy?
Well, and then your next big important thing is to teach them the product.
Teach them the product.
So many people do not know the product. And it's very important to know the product. Because if you're taught in tires and someone asks you a question about them, you should know the answer. And I don't mean you have to tell them how many cords or anything like that in a tire, but you got to tell them the difference between the grades of tires. And why they should buy one tire against another tire.
How do you teach that?
Well, it takes time. I mean, you can't teach that overnight. You got to learn the feel of it and go from there. And everybody sells different.
You know what you bought?
No, it's a long mileage tire.
Long mileage.
Tubeless.
Do you know what brand it was?
Goodrich, I believe. I'm not sure.
What's the first thing you tell a guy who doesn't know anything about tires about the product?
Well, you have to have a lot of literature on the product you start with. And then they should take that home and read it.
Well, it began with him selling, and then I bought them, but he sold those tires to me over there, I think, by describing them to me.
The main thing is don't talk so fast that you can't listen. I mean, if you're giving a product story, it's fine to explain the product to your customer, but if you're doing just like you're doing now, you're not saying a word, I can't sell you.
Well, no, definitely a tire should be taken out of the rack.
What do you
be taken out and have the customer just actually touch it. Just by touching a tire makes a lot of difference. They don't really know what they're touching. Two-ply polyester, two-ply glass.
Believe that most customers know what they need?
No, they do not. You must tell them what they need. Most of the average person driving a car doesn't even know it's anything on the car except a round wheel.
Do brands really make a difference to you today?
Yes, I would always go by a brand name. Goodrich Firestone. I think they do have a lot to it. You have other brands. National is like one brand, or Pan Am is another brand.
Minor brand.
I'm certain that they buy more or less rejected tires from these larger firms and sell it under their own.
Just because I argue price, I don't buy a price. I'm looking for the product at a price.
How do you quote the price?
Well, you leave it as long as you can as far as the actual price goes. You actually got to sell the product first, and then you come with the price. Once you've got the customer say, well, that's the tire I think I want, then here comes your price. But as long as you can stay away from the actual price, the better off you are.
My price on these tires was 58 something, I think, all taxes. That's, when I'm buying anything, I like to know the whole works, everything, put on and so forth.
What this man should have done is he should total up a price. You see, when I gotten on the rack here, when he was going to put the bow ties on, I quickly added them up, since I do the type of work, and I was going to walk into a $60 bill. For heaven's sakes, tell a man that how much it's going to cost.
When it's time for the price, quote it quickly and completely.
Oh, here's the 14 inch.
This one right here somewhere.
You got too many tires. We had for a fact.
Jet Star, that carries an 825-14 also.
Okay, I'm going to pick up my wife.
All right.
I'll pick her up down at the other place at 4 o'clock.
It took him too long to figure a price. Any place that I have gone recently, this is the third place I've been today. I was to Goodyear and I was to Royal, and that's what I have on the front. And it didn't take half that long to give me a price.
I start to close right after I start talking. If I can close it fast, good. I start closing right away.
I thought he was a very good salesman.
Did you?
He answered all my questions, what I thought properly.
Was there any key question of the answer that made you decide to buy?
No, I guess the main thing I liked about him wasn't high pressure. He let me decide.
Get the customer and say, well, look, all right, you're not ready to buy now, but let me get a good look at your tires and get him up on the lift. And then you can actually show him that he should buy now.
Nice.
I mean, if you can get the car up on the lift, and I do not mean put a car up on the lift before you try to sell the customer. I think that's very bad because I know if I drove into a place and somebody, as soon as I got a car, would drive my car on the lift and lifting it up, I'd be mighty angry. But if you have a right to do it if you ask. And then you also ask them, you say, you don't say if, it's when you put these on, which is now. $27, wasn't this they got for you? You got 5 of them, they're single white ones.
Just one resonator. There wasn't anything else.
All right, hold those 5 tires. I've got Mr. Jim Lowry down here.
Just buying one tire.
No, 4.
Oh, you're buying 4?
Yes. Uh-huh.
One blue, but you're buying 4.
Yes. We need all 4.
Bobby cut. Well, if you really do need tires, today's the day to buy them because we do have that special on.
Well, lots of times you have to ask for the business. I mean, the customer himself, more than 9 times out of 10 will not tell you to go ahead and put tires in. You have to ask him to put them on. And this is the tough part of selling. Actually, is to be able to close the deal. There's many a good salesman that puts his product across and everything else, but he does not. He's not a good closer. The main way to close is lots of little tricks to closing. You have a customer that says, well, I'm thinking, oh, I'll see you tomorrow or something like that. You say, well, sir, I'm sorry you feel that way. And they'll say, what do you mean you're sorry? Well, because actually I have everybody free here now. We can get right on, get you out in a hurry, and I've got the mechanic here can look over your car, and we're not that busy. And I said, tomorrow we may be busy, and you won't be able to get us fast service. So you use all kinds of little tricks to actually talk them into doing it right now. It's not actually tricking, because once your customer leaves there, he may not come back. He may and he may not. But you can get them on right then and there. It's the best thing.